Hi everyone, and welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for joining me today. Great to have you with me. Today's pick a card reading question is, how many children will I have? Now we're going to break down that question by looking at you and who it is that you are, and what are your circumstances. Are you in a relationship? Are you not in a relationship? Not that it matters to have children, but essentially we're looking at what's going on for you and a timeline towards how many children you're going to have. So lots to get through, and before we get started, if you would like to go down below and hit subscribe, you can tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. And if you would like to access more information about who it is that I am as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Now, before you on the screen, 4 different cards with 4 different sets of coloured dice. And the idea is to choose a card and set of coloured dice that resonate most clearly with you. In order to do that, I like to do a bit of a guided meditation. So feet firmly on the ground and taking in a nice deep breath. And as you release the breath, letting go of any tension that you're holding from within. And another final deep breath in. And as you release the breath, clearing the mind. Now drawing your attention back to the screen before you, which of the cards with coloured dice resonates most clearly for you? Is it card number 1 with the green dice? Card number 2 with the blue dice? Card number 3 with the orange dice? Or is it card number 4 with the purple dice? Down below, 4 different timestamps representing each of the different cards. If you would like to go to the card that you chose, I'll be with you in a moment. Hi everyone, this is card number 1. This is the green dice, and today's question is, how many children will I have? So lots to get through. Let's get the cards out on the table and see what's going on. We've got the Star, 9 of Swords, Strength, King of Cups, the Hermit, Ace of Pentacles, the Star, King of Wands. Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Confront. And awaiting results. Now, I can see straight away over here, the Star and the King of Wands, I can see straight away you're a really driven individual, very ambitious, motivated individual, highly professional in terms of the work that you do. And I think you're really driven to reach the top. You're a born leader when it comes to work. I think you've got loads of energy, and I don't think that you hold back with that. I think when you see a project, you just want to take the lead and run it to its course and to reach its summit in terms of what is it you think that you can actually do with it. So you're a born leader in the workplace, highly responsible, lots of energy, and I think that you are very preoccupied with all of that at the moment. It's all about work for you. So, coming over here to the Sun and 9 of Swords, I feel the idea of children is one that creates a lot of anxiety in you. It's not pressing the kind of feel good happy buttons for you at all. It's actually pressing all of the kind of fearful anxiety kind of worrying buttons that feel a bit out of control. And I think this is the thing. It's an idea about the future of having kids, but at the moment it's just like you're unable to get your head around it. And also I think you've also questioned whether this would make you happy, or whether this is something that you really want. So it's a bit of a loaded issue, and I think I can see at the moment, obviously, you're really preoccupied with what you're doing professionally, in terms of your output, and that requires an enormous amount of energy. And so the idea of having children at this stage in your development would be quite a stretch, because energetically I think that you're being soaked up on that level, with a preoccupation towards your professional focus. I feel that you are in a relationship with somebody. I've got Strength and the King of Cups. I feel that this is an individual who is really involved with you at an emotional level, really loves you, very devoted to you, really wants to be with you, highly intelligent at an emotional level, very sensitive individual, very artistic and cultured, quite refined, yeah. Something very lovely about this person, very passionate. But they're also driven as well. I think they're actually driven to achieve goals and to be at the top of their game in terms of what they're doing with their focus at perhaps a creative or at least a professional level. So the two of you have got an enormous amount going on at the moment that is all about opportunity and focusing in on achieving those goals and developing yourselves as individuals to be at the top of your game. And so it's very much high output. And so perhaps the idea of having children just at the moment is one that causes a lot of worry, because you don't know whether that would actually tip the balance and, you know, make things a little bit difficult in terms of the buoyancy of not just the relationship, but also in terms of your individual paths at this point in time. But I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this, because I also sense that you have had some problems when you were a child yourself, okay? And that's caused a lot of worry and fear or anxiety around the idea of having children in the future. There is something that has happened in the past for you that has left a shadow over the idea of having kids. And so when this subject comes up, it triggers off a whole load of stuff that's built around that particular experience. And I don't know that the experience that you had when you were a child is one that is necessarily clear at this point in time. It's more an experience that's just been built around in terms of compensating to get over it in a way where it hasn't been addressed fully. It hasn't been taken out of the box. Coming down here to confront. And confront is very much about is very much about looking at underlying issues that are causing problems. You know, these are feelings that are lying or lurking beneath the surface and which need to be looked at, and you need to shed light on them to see them for what they really are, to take away that fear and to take away that concern in a way where you can be more constructive about what it is that happens, so that you know where you stand and so you can move forward. And my sense is that something that did happen to you as a child, which has caused you a considerable amount of grief, needs to be addressed in a way where you can actually clearly see it for what it is, and you can then break it down and put it to rest so that you can move forward without this weight on your shoulders, you know, which generates a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry around the idea of having kids for yourself. So it's about breaking down an illusion, okay? Taking that out and shedding light on it and seeing it for what it is and moving forward. And my sense is that, you know, perhaps you feel pressure right at the moment to have kids. Maybe it's like, oh my God, there's a timeline. You know, if I'm going to reach certain goals professionally, have this relationship with this person, you know, I need to have kids, you know, it has to be X, Y, and Z, you know, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. It all has to kind of fit into some project management kind of tick box scenario. And it just doesn't need to be like that. What you actually need to be is patient with yourself and patient with this process. Things happen in their own good time, awaiting results. And awaiting results is all about reshaping attitudes and beliefs, you know, i.e. what happened to you in your past after you've confronted them, you know, reshaping them, reshaping these attitudes, reshaping these belief systems, and being patient, particularly with your relationship, but also around this process of working through what it is that happened and giving yourself the time that you need to really restructure yourself in a way that is much more solid, and that will bear fruits within itself. And I feel that going down that particular path will give you what you need to re-establish yourself, and that this will take some time, okay? And I feel that my sense is that about 18 months time, I feel a child is happening in 18 months time. Now, the question is, this is the first child, and you need to be sort of sitting down for this, because I've looked at this a couple of times. Actually, I've looked at it repeatedly because I don't like giving out the information that I feel people might kind of, find difficult to digest. But I feel like a large family is in order for you. I feel this is big numbers. I get 5 children here, and I have looked at this a number of times, and 5 keeps on coming up. A big family for you is in the balance. And I feel that this is going to be 4 of one sex and 1 of the other. So it could be 4 boys and 1 girl, or it could be 4 girls and 1 boy, okay? But the time frame for this to start happening is within about 12 to 18 months time. I feel that you will have a child, okay? And that will be the first of a 5 in total. So hope you're still standing after hearing that little bit of news, because big families are not that common these days. But I feel that once you've worked through these issues, okay, and a part of what needs to happen here is trust. You just, like at the end of the day, a lot of what you're fearing, a lot of what you are experiencing in terms of the negative projections about having children are based on what is that's happened to you in your past as a child. Work through all that, clear through all of that, get it all sorted. That's going to dissipate. That's going to evaporate into nothing. And the joy of having children will become profoundly new to you, in a way where being in the moment and embracing children for who they are and what it is that they bring to you in terms of an appreciation to life will allow you to flourish in a way that you had never anticipated flourishing before. But you have to trust here, okay? Because if you grip in this position or in this posture, okay, continually, you're not going to let go and fulfill this experience in a way that helps you to realize what it is that's truly possible in terms of being a parent, okay? So trust in your partner, trust in your own process. Don't push this along. Don't try and force a square peg into a round hole. Allow yourself to have this process. Allow yourself to get from A to B to make the realization, but do start doing some work on what it is that you're keeping in that box within yourself. Take it out of the box. Look at it for what it is. Begin to work through it, deconstruct it, and reshape your attitude and belief system around the insight that you derive out of that particular process. Guys, I hope this reading has made some sense to you. And if it has, please do leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can, and please do subscribe. Tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any readings that I post in the future. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. And just on a final note, plenty of videos already up and posted to my YouTube page, doing that every week. So feel free to browse any of those. That'd be great. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, this is card number 2, and this is the blue dice. So today's question is, how many children will I have? And let's get it started by getting the cards out on the table. We have the Empress, the Three of Swords, the Emperor, the Seven of Cups, the Magician, the Ace of Pentacles. Let's get this centered into the frame of the screen. The Lovers. Excuse me. The King of Cups. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Detach. New vitality. And the first thing that comes up here for me is all about your relationship. And we'll get to the outcome in terms of how many children you have. Once we've worked through some more central issues, I feel you are in a relationship with someone, and I feel that this relationship is actually quite a solid one. I think you're very involved. I think you're very devoted to this person. I think you love them very much. You put them first every time, each and every time. And I think you are quite naturally a person, with a very warm heart. You're very, very receptive to other people. I think you're very. I think you put people at ease, and people are very comfortable with you. They'll open up as soon as they sit down and talk to you, even if they barely know you. There's something about your warmth and emotional intelligence that's really inviting for people. There's a lot of love there, basically. You're very nurturing. You really give a lot to people in a way where you really look out for them. You're the kind of person that will give the shirt off your own back if somebody needs it. That's how I would term this. It's very beautiful. I do feel that there is some grief with relation to children and the idea of having kids. I also wonder whether you've actually lost a child, maybe trying to have a child. For some of you, that might be the case. I feel that there's some loss. There's definitely some grief. But if I come over here to the Emperor and the the Seven of Cups, I feel these two cards reflect your partner, and I think that this is a very strong, very masculine individual. Quite traditional in their views in many ways. They're very, very old school in terms of maybe being a partner or a husband. Could be a wife, could be somebody with a very sort of strong masculine energy. Doesn't have to be a man or a woman. So some very sort of traditional views, but I think that they've been going through a very emotionally challenging time, really trying to get back up on their own 2 feet. I feel that there's a sense of loss here for them as well. If it's not that you have lost a child, it could be that you have lost somebody who is close to you, or probably more close to them. Could be close to the both of you, but they've taken it really badly. I think that you are much more buoyant in terms of what's going on. I think you've got your head screwed on. You're quite clear about what you want within the relationship. You're quite clear about what you want for the future in terms of having children as well. But this partner of yours is very much in the thick of just, they can't see the wood for the trees at the moment. It's a very emotional place. Lots of triggers that seem to set off really strong emotions, and they can be quite sort of reactive for no reason. It's very hard to gauge where they're at any given time. They can be quite stormy. There's a lot of hurt going on there, and I don't think that they're in a good place. I think I think you know that, but they're beginning to come out of it. They are beginning to come out of it, and they will come through this, but they just can't put to rest what it is that's happened. And this is where I kind of feel that there is a little bit of turbulence for the both of you in terms of where things are going, not just in the relationship, but more importantly about what it is that you are doing to kind of lay down the foundations and to have kids. Okay. This whole thing about productivity, the Empress is a card of productivity and fertility, and there's heartache around this particular issue, and I wonder whether that's actually been one of the points of grief, is whether there's difficulty in trying to have children. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this as well. I think the both of you have had difficult upbringings as well. the Empress is the mother of tarot, the Emperor is the father of tarot. And both of you have had very difficult upbringings in terms of your parents, or maybe one of your parents. And the two of you have come together, and so these issues are very loaded. They're sort of very preloaded, really. But I'm going to say one thing that's really clear here that you need to hear, and that is, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. I don't know how that could be possible, but I think that you do need to put yourself first, because you are very attractive, you are very romantic. But I think we're talking about how your partner sees you at the moment, and I kind of feel that they've lost sight of you in the complexity of what's going on, and that a part of what you really need to do is stop pandering to them and giving them what it is that they need to get back up on their own 2 feet. You have grief as well. You've been through hardship as well. You've been through a lot of difficulties in relation to what's going on. And I think that your nature is to always help other people in a way where they come right. You know, you put a lot of your energy. You need to put some energy into yourself, okay? And a part of what I'm also seeing here is a need to detach. Now, detach is a card that really asks us to sort of step back and just accept things for what they are. You know, don't try and make something right that's actually not right, or which you can't make right. Your partner needs to get through this. What has happened has happened. And in a way, you need to take a step back and free yourself from this really challenging situation in a way where you can detach from any guilt or sense of blame, okay? Because I get a sense that there might be that for you. Coming over to New Vitality, this is a really exciting card because it really says that there's an enormous potential to create or to revitalize the relationship and also yourself. And a part of what that means is to have some fun with yourself and fun with your partner. You need to lift the energy, lift the vibration. There's been a lot of grief. There's been a lot of difficulty, a lot of challenges here between the two of you, okay? And having a bit of fun, you know, it will help you to see your partner in a new light, but it'll also help them to see you in a new light. It'll bring back the resonance of the relationship that and when I say brings back the resonance, bringing back a resonance that is really about the vitality of your connection, the spiritual connection between the two of you. The more joy you have, the more you add in, okay? The more positivity that you feed into this relationship in a way, it will lift the vibration, you know, it'll lift the energy levels. And that is probably, first and foremost, the best thing you could possibly do for your partner. So rather than get directly involved in a way where you're counseling them through what's going on and trying to make it all right, detach, give yourself some space, take yourself off any kind of guilt or sense of blame, and just really concentrate on changing the frequency. Plain and simple. Be positive. Lift up the energy, because this is a person that can be very difficult at any given time. I think they can be a little bit unpredictable in terms of the response or the reaction. But a part of the healing that you can give them is to actually change the energy frequency by just giving them something positive to work with. So lots to work through there. But at the same time, I don't think this is insurmountable. And I think that over the next year, you will actually push through this into a very new place. And then I feel that within a year's time, okay, you will have a child. Now, the question is, how many children are you going to have? I'm going to be honest with you. I feel that this is one child. But I don't think that is, I mean, for some people that might sound disappointing. I think for a lot, it'll be just like a blessing, okay? And maybe given what's going on, that actually could be the case. This is going to be a very special child. I feel that this child is going to hit the ground running. They're going to enter into this world loaded with all the tools, all of the necessary skills and tools that they'll need to take on this life in a way with such ease. I mean, it would be enviable. This is going to be a motivated individual, a very strong, a masculine individual, a very masculine energy. And I feel that they are going to be very spiritually evolved. And I also feel that they can just, everything's going to be really easy for them. It's like whatever they put their finger to, it's going to turn to gold. Okay, the Magician, the Ace of Pentacles. These are really auspicious cards in combination. The Ace of Pentacles is all about producing results that are sort of, very much about, embracing opportunity in a way where it manifests material, tangible results, also financial results, but more importantly, quite sort of magical results that are long-lasting with very positive effects. The Magician is a card that is very connected to the universe. It communes with spirit. It's connected into this world in a way where they have everything they need to be able to conjure the magic. I mean, now that seems very, I guess, at a face level exciting, but I think in reality, this is going to be a dynamic individual. You're going to have your hands full initially, but as they grow and develop, you're going to have a very interesting, very rewarding individual who will be a part of your lives, to share experiences that will really open up your mind to what is really possible. So I feel that there is a lot of good stuff to come here. I just feel that the relationship side of things needs to be ironed out, that you need to pull back a little bit in terms of trying to make everything right for your partner. I think that you have to accept where things are at, and a part of making changes, it's really about planting in positive energy, really revitalizing the relationship by kind of being dynamic. And that's a part of what you're also going to produce as a child, which is very interesting. Yeah. Being dynamic, being using that vitality, changing the frequency in the relationship will have a resonance within the both of you, but it'll also produce a child who actually has that and will become that. So guys, I hope this has made some sense to you, and if it has, please leave some feedback down below. It'd be great to get your comments. Please like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you are interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service. And just on a final note, I release videos on a weekly basis, so feel free to browse any of the other videos that I've already posted on my YouTube page. Thanks very much. Take care. Hi everyone, this is card number 3. This is the orange dice, and today's reading question is, how many children will I have? Let us get the cards out on the table and see what's happening. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, 5 of Swords, the Hanged Man, 10 of Pentacles. Oh, sorry, no, that's 10 of Wands. The Star, 9 of Swords, the Devil, 10 of Swords, the Magician, 4 of Pentacles, Iolite, family, third eye chakra. Now we've got a little bit of ironing out to do in terms of the story here before we get to the answer to that question of how many children will you have. There's a journey wrapped up in this reading, and it's a very unique one. I'm a little bit excited about it, to be honest with you, because you're a highly individualistic person. You do things in a way that is different to everybody else. You stand your own ground, and you stand tall. You stand for what you believe in. And I feel that there's something very unconventional about you. Highly independent, but in a way that's very quirky and dynamic. There's something quite esoteric about you. Very spiritually connected person. This is the Magician and the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles indicates somebody who's very sort of firmly grounded, very very self-protected, there's no doubt about that. There's a strong defense mechanism there, but it's matched with the Magician. And the Magician is an inspirational card that works with lots of different skills and experiences. The Magician is unconventional in it that he communes with spirit in a very dynamic way. So, in terms of your character, I think, there's something very unique about you. You don't fit the kind of the average mold, so to speak. But there's a history here that I want to tap into that needs to be unraveled in a way that helps us to move forward towards the question of how many children you will have. And if I come up here to the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Swords, the Five of Swords is a card of abuse. Physical, mental, psychological, emotional. It's a card that says, there is somebody, or there is a group of people perhaps that are very pointed in their efforts to torment a person. And it's coupled with the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is all about moving forward, moving into the next phase of your life. It's about taking a risk, taking a chance. I get a sense that these two cards are saying to me that, you're wanting to get over, what's happened before you. The swords are all about the past. And I feel that in the past, there's been a lot of torment, a lot of abuse, whether that's psychological or physical, that there have been people along your path that have been very instrumental in making your life quite difficult and really perhaps actually controlling you in a way. And controlling you with abuse, but also, that could also be abuse that's unwarranted, needless abuse, abuse just for the sake of it. In any case, I feel that you're trying to move past that. Now, if I come down here to the Devil and the Ten of Swords, this expands on this idea. The Devil is difficult, uncomfortable relationships that you want to get away from, but which you are chained to. And the Ten of Swords is a card of defeat, being stabbed in the back, or I guess on the severe end of conflict. So I get a sense that there has been a string of really difficult relationships, both intimate, but also just normal relationships with other people. I feel that this could be family as well as friends and colleagues, that somehow, your trust in people has been eroded to such a point where you feel that all you're ever going to get from them is a lot of grief. Perhaps there has also been an intimate relationship there with somebody who has really left you feeling very, stabbed in the back, really. Maybe this is something that you've been unable to get over. I think both sets of these cards here describe to me difficulties in relationships with people, a lot of abusive behavior that's been very toxic and difficult to deal with in a way where it's left you feeling, or left you reeling, as to whether you can take a chance on people and trust them. And at the moment, I think that if I come over here to the Hanged Man and the Ten of Wands, I feel that the idea of letting go and entering into a relationship for you is one that seems, I wouldn't say that it's insurmountable, but it's just not one that you're prepared to, I'm going to rephrase this, because I think what it is that you want, if you were going to have a relationship, or if you were going to have some kind of a connection to somebody about having children, you want to do that in an unconventional way. So I think you're looking for perspective in terms of what it means to have children. How is it that you can achieve this in a way that perhaps doesn't conform to the norms? And I think that there's a lot of worry around the idea of having kids. Certainly, I think, hopes and dreams, the star is all about hopes and dreams. In relation to maybe having children, coupled with the Ten of Swords, there's a sense that this is the Ten of Swords is very much about fear of the future and worrying about what it is that's happened in the past and how that may obstruct the future. So I think that there is quite a blinding, a sense of vulnerability, around the idea of achieving kids. And I will be honest with you, I just don't feel that you're the type of person that's going to have some kind of a normal relationship with somebody to settle down and have 2.4 children and live happily ever after. That's not who it is that you are as a person, despite all of the difficulties that you've actually had with people around everything that I've described. You are somebody who stands on your own 2 feet and does things very independently, and you do it in a way that actually suits you and suits you in a way that allows you just to be yourself. I don't think you really want to be answerable to anybody in the first place. So I think you really need to come down here to Iolite and family, the third eye chakra. This is a card around that describes family, and family is whoever it is that you make it to be. This can be adopted family, blood family, friends, pets, your partner's family. It's who you choose it to be. Family is who family feels that it is, if you understand what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be lineage in terms of your bloodline. So I think it's really important to remove yourself from any idea that you have to conform to the norm, the norms in terms of the idea of having a family that is going to replicate something that everybody else is doing. I do think that it's important to sort of identify with who your family is. Who is your chosen family? Because that allows you to express yourself in all honesty. You can just be who you really are with those people, because they'll accept you for who that you are. And at the same time, I think it is also important to work through your own family issues. And if you look to your history, there is a lot of toxicity around this idea of what it is that happened, but also how it influences you, where you're at the moment, and what it is that you want for the future. It's also important not to let other people's points of view get in your way of what it is that you're wanting to achieve in terms of having kids, because you are unconventional and people will have something to say about it. Conformity is conservatism, and conservatism is a part of what happens in life. It doesn't mean that you're answerable to it, but I think that you have to be sure as to who it is that you are, where it is that you've come from, and what it is that you want. And I think you have achieved that to a large degree, but I'm talking more around the idea of having children, and it comes back to this unconventional approach to achieving what it is that you really want. So there's a lot going on here, but I kind of feel that this is very exciting, because I don't feel that you're going to settle into some traditional relationship, as I've already said before. I have a strong sense that you're going to do this on your own terms and your own conditions, and that you will do this mostly on your own. That you'll have, and my feeling is that you will have 2 children that will be your own children. Okay? They will be 2 children that you actually keep very close to you, and they're a part of you and your family unit. That could be blood children. And I feel that maybe you'll have these children in a very unconventional way. So maybe not in a relationship, or, so that could be IVF, or it could be from a donor, or it could be any way you want it to be. It's however you want to make it up, because it's your story. And I think that's what's most important here. This is your story. It's not somebody else's story. I need to go further. I feel that you will actually not only have 2 children of your own, but I also felt that you would draw 2 other children in. This could be fostering, it could be adoption. But I felt that there would be 4 children who would be with you over time. This would be over a number of years. And I feel perhaps it's once you've got things placed squarely on the table in terms of skills, experiences around work, perhaps money in the bank, and feeling emotionally that you're at a place where you can where there's buoyancy and also where there is a degree of resolution about what it is that's happened in the past. And I think that that's when the inspiration will kick up to actually do this in a way where you've moved on from all of this past stuff. Okay, so this is actually a really beautiful story. It's your story. It's how, and story keeps on coming up for me. It's how you want to write your story. Don't feel that you have to do something that everybody else is doing. Yeah, you're the baker of your own bread. So be who you really are. Don't conform. Keep on doing what it is that you are doing. Look towards some resolution about what it is that's happened in your past, but don't be a slave to what it is that's happened in your past. It did happen. Validate it. Accept it. I'm not saying move on and just let it go because it didn't happen, but assimilate it into who it is that you are and allow it to support your choices to be the person that you want to be and to have the family that you want to have. Guys, I hope this reading has made some sense to you. If it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can, and do subscribe. Tap the bell icon while you're down there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, please go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. And just on a final note, plenty of videos already posted to my YouTube page. I release those each and every week, so feel free to browse the ones that are already there. Great. Take care. Bye. Hi everyone, this is card number 4. This is the purple dice. So let's get the cards out on the table. Today's question being, how many children will I have? So we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Swords, the Devil, the Knight of Wands, the Emperor, the Nine of Swords, Strength, Page of Cups. You deserve love. You are lovable. Release. Healing begins. I am drawn here to the Devil and the Knight of Wands, and I feel that you are currently in a relationship. And I feel that that relationship is a difficult one. There's a lot of restriction going on there in terms of this person being quite controlling. I think in an unhealthy way. I think they can be very dominating, and I also feel that they can be quite physically aggressive at times. Now, I'm not saying that that necessarily manifests into something bad, but I just feel that they're very standover. You know, their energy is quite forceful. They like to push things in a direction that they want to go in. Excuse me. I think this is a very charismatic person. I think they've got a very strong energy, a very influential energy. They're very persuasive with other people, and I think they like things to go their own way. I don't think that they're not very flexible, and there's something very sexually charged about this person as well. Like their energy is very a bit out there in a way where I think they're quite attractive, and I think other people find them attractive, and I think that they know how to use that. There's something very cocky about them. There's something a bit sure about their confidence within themselves, and it's very much a sort of masculine sort of sexual energy that really is just a bit, it's just a bit sort of full on in a negative way, because they use it to get what they want. So they can be quite manipulative. If I come over here to Strength and the Page of Cups, I feel that these two cards are reflective of you. I think by contrast, you're a very different person, incredibly sensitive, very creative, I feel. You may be sort of drawn to the fine arts, or sort of, it could be the theatre, acting or acting. I think that there is something quite theatrical about you. I think you're great at a party. I think you're very good with people, but put you in a crowd and everybody's drawn to you. It's like, it's like bears to a honeypot. I think you know how to hold an audience. I think you're very entertaining. I think you are quite witty. You always have something to say. And I think that you're great with people. You're also very good with children. Now, the question obviously is, how many children am I going to have? But I think there's some important things to nut out here before we actually get to that, because there's a timeline that we need to sort of work through here. I also feel that there's a child. I feel that there's already a child around. I get a sense that there is a young child in your world, and you really are very sort of centered on giving them what it is that they need. And I feel that if I come up here to the Wheel of Fortune and Ace of Swords, my sense is that you're thinking to move on from this particular relationship, to cut away in a way where you're clinically just going to make that divide and move on. I think you've assessed what's been going on, and I think you've really wised up to the scenario in a way where you know that you just need to cut your losses, because at the end of the day, that this relationship is not heading in a direction that really is going to where you want to go, both in terms of having children, but also for your child, and also because this is a person who suffocates your creative integrity, okay? Their dominating energy has a very negative impact on all of the things that you hold dear to you in terms of who it is that you are, what is it you want for your child, and also what you want for your future children. More importantly, okay, and this is really the deal breaker, I don't feel that there's love here. I think that this is just very sexually charged, very controlling, manipulative sort of energy that is very standover in terms of the tactics to get what they want. And for you, you need somebody who can appreciate your honesty, because you actually are a very honest person. I don't think you have that kind of filter over your being. You're actually I wouldn't say you're naive, but you're sort of, you're inspirational, you're creative, you're in the moment, and there is an innocence about you that just is very dear and needs to be held true in terms of it being to the center of your existence. I don't want that to sound corny, but it's unadulterated, and it's a very beautiful energy, and it needs to be appreciated by somebody who can actually give it support and allow you to flourish in a way where you can reach new heights. And the Wheel of Fortune is very much about taking a risk and moving on, but it's also about mapping out the next phase in your life over the next sort of 6, 7, 8 years. So this is a very important threshold that you're standing before. I feel that there's a lot of worry about what's around the corner for you. I think that you're very anxious. Possibly you've just had a lot of negative situations. The Nine of Swords is really about, anxiety. It's sort of like a debilitating theory of what's going to happen next. Perhaps you're feeling that there might be some ramifications, altercations that might manifest out of the fact that you are going to move on from this particular relationship. I think you're worried about their energy because you know that they're very dominant. But at the same time, there's no going back to what it is that you've already had. And the only way really sort of to get over that fear is to take control. But let's move through that. Before we get to how many children you're going to have, I think that release is a very important card. It's about renewing the heart by letting go, okay? Discarding any need for control. And I think any need to be controlled by this person, but also any need to control what's going on in terms of an outcome. Don't sort of hang on to any ideas that you think may or may not happen, whether they're positive or whether they're negative. I think that at the moment it's just about letting go and And really about recognizing that, you know, clinging to any relationship like this is just going to have, you know, far more negative consequences, and that you're better off moving forwards. And this is where healing begins, really sort of, you know, takes on, I guess, you know, a very purposeful meaning, because you have to remember that you're being guided at every step of the way. And you're a really sensitive soul, and I think that you can tune into this in a way that a lot of other people can't. By letting go, you know, you're freeing yourself to embrace the support of positive energy that's actually around you at this time. And I do feel that that's the case. I think perhaps if you do have a child, I think that child is a source of very positive energy. But also, even if you didn't have a child around you, you know, I feel that your creative talent, your creative connection to the universe, but also to your own process, is one that is really supportive. And I think that you need to trust in those kind of links in a way that help you to recognize that there are better times just around the corner. Okay, so this is a difficult situation on one hand, but you have to also remember you deserve love. You know, you deserve to actually have what it is that you're not getting. You need to validate yourself and start affirming that you deserve this, because that will actually help you to reinforce the fact that this is not a relationship that's giving it to you, and that you do deserve a relationship that will give it to you. Now, I also question whether there has been some flirtation with somebody around you. Okay, the Page of Cups is also about the birth of love. So it's the idea of love manifesting. So it could be that there is somebody around you who's been kind of looking at you and you've been looking at them. It also could be that you've actually maybe even met up with somebody and that there's a potential for it to actually go into the next stage. So I sense that love in terms of pairing off with somebody is not as far as you might think it would be at this point in time. I think you've got a process to work through in terms of letting all of this go and beginning to heal yourself. But I think also at the same time, you're ready for this. You're ready for the idea of love, but you're also ready for the experience of love. And I feel that if it's not around you immediately at the moment, that it's not far around you. I feel within the next year that this is going to happen. And I also feel that you will get, I feel that there are going to be a total of 3 children. So the next relationship that you're having is one that moves on, obviously, from this particular episode in your life into something that's going to give you an enormous amount of growth at a creative level. But it's also going to produce a very abundant financial and material period for you as well. But I also feel, more solidly speaking, that you are going to have a total of 3 children. And I feel that within 3 years, okay, I feel that you have made the steps into having a very solid, loving relationship that begins the next step of having another child. And I feel that there will be a total of 3 children. So guys, look, I hope this reading has made some sense to you. And if it has, please leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're down there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. Now, if you are interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. That'll give you plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse my YouTube page for any other videos that I've already posted. Take care. Thanks very much.